Hello, oil enthusiasts. Hold on to your diffusers because it's about to get wild and fragrant in here. In today's episode, it is 9 out of our 10-part mini series, all about the best oils to have on hand for all of life's emergencies. Stick around to the end for the scoop of the day. Welcome to the Essential Oil Scoop, where we're all about sass, class, and a whole lot of plant-based fun. I'm your host, Vicky Labrilia, and I'm joined by my amazing co-host, Sarah Sipos. Together, we're going to be your guides to the world of essential oils. And trust us, there's no better team for the job. With my passion for natural wellness and Sarah's encyclopedia-like knowledge of essential oils and our sparkling wit and charm, we'll be diving into the world of essential oils, giving you all the tips, tricks, and the juicy scoop that you need to make the most of those potent plant extracts. Don't forget to share, like, save, subscribe, and follow our podcast so you get notified every time we upload a new episode. So grab your favorite oils and your favorite drink, put on your listening ears, and let's get ready to have some fun with essential oils. I'm so excited, you guys. Sarah, hello. How are you?
I am so good, Vicky. How are you doing?
Oh my gosh. You know what? I'm actually really good because luckily I have an amazing friend. Her name's Sarah Sipos, and she did some work on me yesterday and gave me a beautiful diffuser blend to use and an affirmation to say. So truthfully, today I'm feeling a little more chipper and a little more light, and I'm loving it. And today's episode, we're talking about oregano essential oil benefits. And let me tell you, I think you and I have some fun stories to share with our listeners today about how to incorporate it and maybe how not to incorporate it into your daily routine.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So, one of the ways that we love to use oregano is really when we're starting to feel under the weather. When we're starting to feel something coming on, we like to use it in, I think we discussed it in our last episode, but we talked about a FLOOT balm where it's frankincense, lemon, on guard, oregano, and tea tree. And that is one of our favorite ways to actually use oregano. So when we're starting to feel something coming on, I pop those about 3 times a day with food, always with food, by the way. When I talk about using anything in a veggie cap, I always want you to take it with food. That way it doesn't upset your stomach. So just
I agree.
you need to coat it with some food. And it can be something as simple as crackers if your stomach is already unsettled and you're taking Digestin or something like that. So something simple, take some food with it. And we really love using that. And we use it for about 10-ish days, even after we're starting to feel better, because oregano is actually a really good natural antibiotic. And so it has wonderful, huge antibacterial properties. And so it's just one of those oils we really like to use. So we use it for about 10-ish days when we are feeling kind of under the weather with different stuff going on. It's also a great antiviral and antifungal as well. So it's also antiparasitic and it's an immunostimulant. So it's a really great oil for when you're not feeling great.
Correct. I agree with everything that Sarah just said. The flute bomb roller or making a flute into a veggie capsule that you do as a DIY is wonderful to support your immune system from the inside out and vice versa, actually. So in the veggie cap that Sarah was mentioning just a bit ago, I would start with 1 drop of each oil into the veggie cap. And if you're a seasoned essential oil user, you know your body. You can go up to 2. Maybe you take 2 capsules and you go up to 3 with some oils. You know your body. Trust your body. We are not here to prescribe or to invite you to do exactly what we do. We are oil veterans, my friends. So take it at your own pace, educate yourself, like on this podcast, through our social media platforms that will be up and running in no time. But the flute bomb or roller is so great. And Sarah, have you ever used oregano on the bottoms of your feet to boost your immune system. Neat. And when I say neat, I mean undiluted, because we both know that oregano is a very spicy essential oil, and we highly, highly recommend to always dilute it. Can you talk about how, putting oregano on your feet could be very beneficial, but also maybe with some caution?
Yeah, I try to use oregano with a very heavily diluted. When I say heavily diluted, I mean like a 4-to-1 type ratio, very heavily diluted for my body. I know my dilution ratios for me. And so bottoms of my feet, I have only used it neat a couple of times. When I've had warts in the past. Now, I've shared before that I've used On Guard, and that really helped. I only used oregano a couple of times because I was a very brand new user and it burned like crazy. So I had to dilute.
Yes.
And after that, I was like, I don't know if I really want to use this oil. Well, this is kind of hot for
Or
me.
hot.
I can't handle that.
Mm.
And like I said, I was a new user. I was not as well educated as I am today. And so I would definitely recommend the dilution for that. And that's actually going to kind of bring us kind of to our scoop of the day a little bit. We're going to get into a little bit more, but the touch roller, the
Yes.
oregano touch roller is what I would highly recommend for the bottoms of people's feet. And that could actually be used as a daily. Whereas when we're talking about using oils internally, you only use them for a shorter period of time, like 10 days-ish, and then you would not be using them anymore internally for, a couple weeks maybe, because generally your body's going to start feeling better. And obviously, if you're not feeling better after 10-ish days of taking oils, I would highly recommend you see a, a physician,
Oh,
a
absolutely.
medical professional of
Go
some sort,
schedule with your
because
PCP,
yeah, you've got to get in there. So, but for a daily, if you want to do daily immune system boost, maybe you're a teacher and you're going to be around lots of germies, and lots of little fingers like to touch you as you're a teacher, or you're just around different environments constantly. Maybe you're not a teacher, maybe you're in the health profession and you're around different types of people and you want a daily boost. I would recommend doing the touch roller that's already perfectly diluted for use a daily usage. So that's my recommendation. Again, I'm not a medical professional. You can seek medical advice for this, but I would definitely, oregano is just one of those oils I'm overly cautious with because it is a very warm oil.
Yes. So the touch roller, I really like to invite people to think of it as a no mess, no stress way of incorporating these essential oils topically into your routine of using essential oils. Oregano, very, very hot, very, very spicy. Dilute, dilute. I I'm putting this out there in all caps. Do not use oregano on your children, on littles. There are so many other oils, there's so many other essential oil blends that are available to you to use on your littles. Oregano, as just a precautionary rule of thumb, this is for anybody teen or older, on the bottoms of your feet with the touch roller, or down the spine if you are really struggling and your body, has an elevated body temperature, you're having aches and pains, and you're trying to expel what is not working in your system, then I would swipe your spine with the oregano touch roller, because it is diluted. And when I say diluted, I don't mean it's with water. Water will actually penetrate oils deeper into your skin and make the reaction or the sensation more intense. It'll amplify it to the moon. So when Sarah and I are talking about dilution, we're talking about it's carrier oil. So it's combined with fractionated coconut oil. Fractionated coconut oil does not solidify. So I hope we're we're getting to a point where when we say dilute, for all of our listeners, we do not mean water. We mean with a carrier oil, avocado oil, jojoba oil, argan oil. In this case, it's fractionated coconut oil. So just to touch on that. Now, the flute balm roller, Sarah, I'm going to have you talk about it first because there's so many benefits to this oregano when used safely and properly. But please share with our listeners how amazing this flute balm roller is.
Okay, so flute bomb roller is, again, it's using frankincense, lemon, on guard, oregano, and tea tree, and it's combining it and putting all of its goodness. It's 5 drops of each, or for a 5 milliliter bottle. I just was about to grab my 5 milliliter roller bottle to show
our
you.
Listeners.
5 milliliter roller bottle, or 10 to 20 drops, depending upon if you are an adult and are a seasoned user. So
Correct.
yeah, so that would be what I would use for a 10 milliliter. And this would be an amazing, if you did even if you did 5 in a 10 milliliter roller bottle, that would be sufficient for younger teens, I would say.
Yes, I would absolutely agree.
And for daily use, it would be diluted enough for an adult, an older adult, to use for daily use, and good for younger teens for usage for feeling under the weather. But if you're concerned about daily use, I would do the heavier diluted version of that. So that is one of my favorite things to use when we are feeling under the weather. But I got to tell you a funny story. Can I tell you a funny story?
Yes, absolutely. Please share.
And this is how not to use essential oils, people. This is a story. This is a cautionary tale. My husband was not feeling great, and he asked me for some Breathe, and I said, it's on the counter in the bathroom. Great. He's like, I'm gonna take a nice hot bath. I'm gonna use some Breathe to really use those vapors. That's gonna be great.
Yeah, open up the airways, help your respiratory
Absolutely.
system work a little bit better. Okay.
Yeah. So he grabs it, not the right bottle, but he wasn't paying attention. Just grabbed the first bottle he saw on the counter, thinking, how many oils could this woman have in the counter, right? I have a lot. Grabs the first bottle, opens it, goes to put it around his nose like he has done a million times for his Breathe, but he grabbed oregano. And so he's getting it all over his nose, and he's got a slightly runny nose, okay? And as the steam is starting to hit, his nose is running more, and he's snuffing it back, and he is getting a whole nose full of oregano, and he's yelling and trying to use the water because he's uneducated at this point of how not to use oils. And so he's trying to get it off with water, which drives it in even deeper into the tissues. And I hear a blood curdling scream, and I go into the bathroom, and there's my dear sweet husband practically in tears because he's got oregano up his flippin' nose.
Oh my gosh. I am just envisioning this poor man with oregano up his nose in the fetal position because you are like out of luck, dude. You are in the shower, everything is wet. You're sniffing and you're huffing it back in. Oh no.
And your eyes are watering.
Oh
And,
gosh.
it's just a mess. And so I quickly grab some coconut oil and I slather it all over his face.
Mm-hmm.
And he starts to like be relieved. And luckily, the good part about when you use essential oils wrong, it the feeling does dissipate rather quickly. It's just when you're in the
Yes.
moment, it
Yes.
feels like an eternity, but it's really, truthfully, it's only a minute that it feels uncomfortable. But for him, you would have thought it was like 20 years of uncomfortableness. And so he's been very, very educated now. He is very smart about how not to use essential oils most of the time because he figures it out all by himself how not to use them.
Well, isn't that how we do life? Trial and error, figure it out. I would be lying to you and our listeners if I didn't say I am a creature of habit and I usually being the operative word, put oils back to where it belongs. And this time I obviously didn't because I grabbed an oil and I, you know, took it internally. It was very quick. Then I realized, oh no, oh yeah, that's not an oil that I usually take internally, and I didn't want at that time. Oh, was it gross? Was it beneficial? Yes, because it was an immune boosting oil, but it wasn't the on guard that I was searching for. It was definitely tea tree. And when I say I put it back, I mean I put it back in my throat. You can't get it out of your throat. So, now I take the extra half a second to look at the darn bottle before I put it anywhere around my mouth. Girl, oh, poor husband, but that's a lesson he learned.
Uh-huh.
And, oregano is so amazing. I think I want to share this with listeners. Do we have time for one more share?
Yeah.
Okay. So skin tags are a thing for many people. And through my essential oil journey and education, and I'm sure Sarah has stumbled upon this fun fact as well, but oregano essential oil is one of those essential oils that you can use to help support your body get rid of or decrease significantly of a skin tag. Okay, my friends, listen up. Listen to what I'm trying to say. Please dilute. But I have had wonderful success in using oregano essential oil in this way. I would take an ear Q-tip. I would take a Q-tip. I would put a dab of fractionated coconut oil onto it. I would also put a half a drop or a drop of oregano, and I would spot treat a skin tag of mine. It took less than 2 weeks for it to start dying off before it fell off. And my friends, it has not grown back. Now, how great is that to have a natural remedy or a natural way of addressing something that I didn't want on my body? That gave me so much peace of mind. But please, my friends, if you want to try and use this for yours, use with caution, use very little and see how it works for you. For me and other people using it in this way, they've seen major success. So, I wanted to incorporate this in the scoop of the day because why not? You do you, boo. But I'm telling you, this was a great oil that had definitely supported me.
I love it. I love that we have these tools. I love that we have all of these things in our things. All right. Well, that's it for us today. Thanks for tuning in to today's episode of the Essential Oil Scoop. We hope you have found this discussion informative and helpful. If you have any questions or topics that you would like us to cover in future episodes, please leave us a comment or reach out to us on social media. Don't forget to like, share, save, subscribe, and follow our podcast so that you get notified every time we upload a new episode. Until next time, stay healthy, keep using your essential oils to enhance your wellness journey, and we will talk to you really soon. Have a great day. Goodbye.
Be well, my friends. Bye.